time again for Buddy Martin. Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking, but be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
What if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye!
You ready, Jim?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Martin and Martin in the Morning. I'm Buddy Martin. He is Brendan Martin. We've got a show for you today. You're going to want to hear the head ball coach. He's got some comments about winning. Very buzzed about Florida winning 4 SEC titles in 30 hours. Coach Spurrier will speak to us about that. And he happened to win 4 SEC football titles in a row. Only one other man did that. Let's see if you can answer that question. We'll put that out there to see for you. Hey, also David Moulton. David Moulton, a man who knows many subjects, particularly college football, from ESPNU, from CBS Sports College Game Day. Actually, it's not called College Game. It's a broadcast of CBS Sports. He works in the press box with Gary Danielson there as a spotter. And, of course, he does his own show, Miller and Moulton in South Florida, and writes a column for the Fort Myers News Press. That's all coming to you today. And Brendan Martin, guess what today is?
My birthday, maybe?
Brendan
My
Hat
birthday?
Day? I don't know. What's Brendan Hat Day last night?
It's always Brendan Hat Day. How are you, Dad? Did you have a little coffee?
Good, Brendan. Good. Your chats last night were a subject of much discussion on the program. Oh. And, by the way, new platforms. Welcome to the folks who found us on Twitter. Quite a few last night found us on Twitter. Of course, our regular Internation Kingdom on the Facebook format where we are 5 days a week and sometimes 6. And, of course, we're out at all points out there broadcasting. And, of course, I want to get into this, all the other stuff with the podcast, etc. So that's what's going on today, Brendan, is National Chocolate Chip Day.
Really?
Yes.
I love chocolate chips.
I know you do. But, however, somehow or another, I was sucked into thinking it was National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. It is not.
It is not.
It's just National Chocolate Chip Day.
Well,
they have a National Chocolate Chip
There's a difference.
Cookie Day.
Just so you know.
Now, that's a little bit, isn't that called
There's a difference.
That's bait and switch, isn't it? I don't know. It's kind of weird there. So
there's a big difference.
Yeah. So are you going to put your hats up for sale?
No. You bought them for me. Why am I going to put them all up for sale?
They're asking. They want them.
I just keep sticking them in the camera like this so everyone can see how cool they are.
There you go. There you go.
We'll drive the value up. Maybe
exactly.
We'll get rid of them.
Exactly. Well, lots of activity going on. I still don't know the answer to this question. I put it out there because I was told this by a reporter. I'm not putting it out there as fact. I'm not going to put it out as fact unless I see it until I talk to the man. But I was told by a reporter from Columbus that Urban Meyer allegedly, I don't believe this shit, I'm going to wait and see, allegedly blocked Joe Burrow from coming to Florida. Doesn't make a lot of sense considering he was a graduate transfer. And what would that have to do with Ohio State? I don't understand that. Yet he went to LSU. Something not right there. But maybe we'll get a chance to ask Coach Meyer that on Friday if we're able to bring him in, as he says he thinks he will be available on Friday. We'll know Thursday, and talk to him about this. His team, by the way, ranked among the top to win a national championship, one of the shortest odds this coming football season. So that. And then I'm totally unclear about some of this graduate transfer stuff. There's so much going on. I read where I thought.
Well, I'm actually confused about it myself. So I have a lot of questions because I don't understand how this all became a thing so fast, right? So like a whole season for this whole entire stuff. So I was hoping that we could elaborate a little bit more on how it works, because I know there's even some potential changing in the NCAA rules and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we get some clarity on that.
Yeah, well, and I don't know 100%, but I'm reading out of other publications. I think it was the SEC Country, but I'm not sure. Again, or maybe it was Bleacher Report. I hate to not say where it came from, but they reported Van Jefferson, the terrific wide receiver, as being already eligible under NCAA's rules. So that would be it, because all the other Ole Miss players have been made eligible, apparently. So I don't know if that's just conjecture, if it's fact, but they report Van Jefferson. Now, Grimes from Ohio State, to my knowledge, has not been. But on the other hand, also, I know what it was. Then I read he wasn't eligible because Florida hasn't applied for the waiver yet. So I don't understand this. This whole process gets me. 7 Ole Miss players announced their intention to transfer. Shea Patterson, who has been approved, Jarion Street, Van Jefferson, Deontay Anderson, Breon Dixon, Trey Nixon, and Jack DeFore all have announced it. Now, I don't know who all, but according to USA Today, Trey Nixon, offensive lineman Jack DeFore, and running back Jarion Street are eligible to play this fall. But there have been no decisions on Van Jefferson, who transferred to Florida. According to Thomas Mars, attorney, Florida has not yet submitted a waiver for Jefferson, which I don't understand. And also, Dan Mullen said that is true. So technically, while he could be eligible, he apparently is not. I don't know. Too much fine print for these eyes. I can't figure it out. Maybe David Moulton will know. Who knows? We'll see if he has any idea about that. So we are coming to you live today, as we do every Tuesday morning on Martin and Martin. Tomorrow night we'll be at World of Beer. We want to remind you folks of that. If you're in the Newberry-Gainesville area, hope the mayor will be there, Nat Blaylock. And we'll be doing, Brady Ackerman and I will be doing the show tomorrow night. And then, of course, Thursday and Friday will be Martin and Martin in the morning. So it changes around a good bit. But, Brendan, apparently they do find us, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, everyone seems to find us. We got a lot of things going on in a lot of different places. I mean, currently right now we're running a couple of streams. That's why I seem a little distracted and not on the screen as much. But I understand.
I won't bother you again. I apologize.
No, I'm just saying at the end of the day, but we got a lot of different places where we can join. That was our biggest, we've heard everyone's biggest concern was. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what I want you to join right now while we're waiting to get a hold of David Moulton. I couldn't say I really do appreciate by the fact all of our elite members. Congratulations to Roger Burns and Ningbo China. He was the guy last night whose name was pulled out by lovely and talented Miss Joni, as they called her. Tony Martin pulled number 4 out, and that voila was the winning number for the shoes, the books, the shirts, all of it. Roger is thrilled. He posted this morning, and I took a picture of his goodies and put them on Facebook so he could see them over in China. Roger will be back here in a couple of weeks. Going to move up to Bronson, his home there. He'll be back. Will meet us at World of Beer, where we'll present him with his goodie package. That's going on. But first, let me tell you about my friends over at Center State Bank. This is Center State Bank Tuesday. Thank you, Center State Bank, for sponsoring our Tuesday show. Title sponsor all day long. Appreciate that very much. I've talked about it. Speaking of chocolate chips, you can get a chocolate chip cookie there at some of these locations. I can't guarantee all the other 81, but I know the one place where I go to the bank over in Silver Springs Boulevard in Ocala, there's always chocolate chip cookies or some kind of cookies until somebody like Tom Schmitz comes along and eats them up. But they're right there on the table in the front. Love going in there. Good way to start your day. Say hello to the folks there. They feature relationship banking, which I like a lot in my banks. I've said many times I don't like going into a place, big box bank, that say, hey, you over here, here's your ID, put your hands up against the wall. I love the fact that there's a friendly atmosphere, and these people also reach out to the community. Their community room upstairs hosts all kinds of special events, weddings, etc. In fact, we're going to have our Ocala Quarterback Club meeting there. We just found out yesterday on August 22nd. We'll have the head coach's wife, not Jerry Spurrier, but Megan Mullen, who used to work in television and golf channels. She'll be our speaker at the Quarterback Club's kickoff. So they do lots of things over there at Center State Bank, including hosting events, giving you cookies. Most of all, they're locally market driven in all these markets. They also have a long-term view of loans, and they have a world-class service. So check them out. Go to centerstate.com, or if you're in the Ocala area, go to Silver Spring Boulevard. Drop by there and pick up one of the cookies. Tell them Buddy sent you. Call them at 352-368-6800. As Brendan likes to say in that slogan he's got up there on the screen, Center State Bank, centered on community and customer service. So remember, that's what they live by there. Okay, I believe we're going to be talking to David Moulton here in just a moment. And we still haven't figured out all the stuff with the gambling. I talked to a friend of mine last night about this gives the states the right to choose their own path. New Jersey apparently is going ahead with that. And they've got a clearance to do that. And, so there's no federal law against sports gambling now. So that's removed. But there are other things, including big fees. Everybody wants to get on the act. 12 states introduced legal sports gambling legislation, and there's a long way to go, but it's not going to be an open field day on gambling. We're not going to have casinos popping up tomorrow all over the country, but there is going to be, no question, they're getting a softer stance about it. There's going to be more gambling. 40 states have some kind of casino right now. It isn't like they're not gambling. They're already gambling with casinos and card rooms at dog tracks and highlight frontons and horse tracks, etc. So there you go. So I want to say good morning to our crew out there, Lynn, Richie, Rebecca says, cookies. Richie Robinson says good morning. I guess he's going back to the oil rig today. Oil rig. He's our oil rigger out there. So also our friends Don Rutledge, my buddy, my Fight Out brother, down the great referee who on college basketball, 6-time Final Four. Hello, Don. Good morning to you. Brent English wants to see that orange cap again. I don't know what her hats are taking over. I don't know, or something. Brendan's hats. All right. And I bought them. I don't get to wear any of them. Doug Tony, Don Beverly, good morning to you. Kevin, good morning to you. So we got some folks online who want to hear from David Moulton. We'll take your comments, as we say, off the air and on the chat page. So check in. And thanks to our friends on Twitterland for joining us as well. We'll check on them in a moment, too. Okay, Brendan, where do we go from here? Do we have David Moulton?
No, we don't. I'm having issue seemingly dialing out. So
let me see if I can get him.
Why don't you dial him from your Skype? Just on your Skype would be fine.
Well, all right.
Dial him from no, just dial him, add your call there, and see, because I am not I'm not able to, whatever reason, use my Skype.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dial him a different way because I can't get my directory up here, I don't believe. Yeah. It says hold call, share screen. So I'm going to have to call him a different way. And David's going to be on David's prompt.
I'll try to call him and merge him in.
All right, well, let's see if we can, whatever's happening there with Skype this morning, playing tricks on us. We'll try this and see if this works. David Moulton, of course, a very fine talk show host himself. Miller and Moulton in the morning. And, of course, you can check him out also on ESPNU some days. I believe he might be on the program with us. David, is that you?
It is, buddy. How are you?
Good. We're trying to call you on Skype. We weren't having any luck for some reason, so we tried the old-fashioned way, my friend. Good talking to you this morning. Hey, you're a guy. You're a thinker, all right? Just so you know, it's National Chocolate Chip Day, just to make you feel a little better. This whole thing with gambling, it's still too hard to figure it out yet. I know you know people who know people who know people. It's part of the culture of sports. We know all that. Without moralizing about it, the fact is it's definitely coming. I don't get that it's going to be a tsunami, but it looks like the gambling position on all states, at least 40 of them, is changed. The climate's changed, and there's no federal law now. Well, it's not open season. There won't be a casino on your street corner. What do you think it means, David Moulton?
Well, I think it'll mean different things depending on where you live. Where we live, You know, I mean, you've, I think, been in Florida over the years longer than I have. I've been here since '99. You know, I kind of mirror gambling to marijuana. I think there are some parallels. It took a long while in this state, and even now that it passed on the ballot, I don't think it would have passed in the legislature. Is that fair to say? It got on the ballot. 60% of us voted to make it so, but, you know, that doesn't mean it's still widespread in the state. I mean, in fact, each county is moving pretty slowly in terms of making medical marijuana available. I think gambling in Florida, I think, Buddy, will be one of the last 30% of the country to have legalized sports betting. I think there'll be 30 to 35 states that have it before Florida does. The only thing that I think will speed up our time frame would be the state of Georgia. And where I'm going with this is Mississippi is going to be one of the leaders. They're going to have legalized sports betting by July. And Louisiana's got such financial problems, and there's already a bill in their house. They're going to get it too. And South Carolina's got a bill in their house, and they're probably going to get it too. So that'll probably be the states in the South, along with West Virginia, if you consider West Virginia the South. But there will be no state touching our border. And Alabama doesn't even have a lottery. So they're not going to have gambling. You know, Alabama and Utah are going to fight to be who could be last to have sports betting. So, but to me, the key, Buddy, is Georgia. If Georgia starts to have legalized sports betting, then I think the casino industry in this state is going to be like, we're going to start losing some money here. We need to at least play catch up with them. And so to me, I think the key as to how quickly Florida gets it is how quickly Georgia gets it. Because I don't think there's going to be a movement in Tallahassee to make it so. And I don't think that the casino industry will have enough pull to change the majority of votes that are against it in Tallahassee, unless Tallahassee starts to see that we're losing a lot of money because Georgia has it and we don't.
Such a complex issue to discuss because there are so many moving parts. I mean, we have gambling. I mean, and here, it's like they used to say about becoming a dry, why we had a dry county. Alachua County was dry when I went to college up there. You couldn't buy a drink there. And they used to say that the Baptist preachers and the bootleggers didn't want it, you know.
Right.
And now it's the pari-mutuel tracks has been for years. Why should they? They already got card rooms. They already have pari-mutuel gambling. They own the Five Frontons have been reduced to card rooms. And now the question is, who benefits from this? Well, the plus side, and this is something we could talk about for hours without being able to change anybody's mind one way or the other, but to illuminate the subject, we already have legalized gambling, offshore betting. You can go to Vegas, obviously. You can go online and bet on horses and what have you. And certainly you can find a bet. Let's be honest. There's a bookie, I wouldn't say on every street corner, but if you want to bet, you can find a legal bet because there are billions bet every year, I guess, on whatever, on legally. And when they bet all that money on the Super Bowl, David, I would venture to say 90% of them are probably betting illegally on the Super Bowl. I think, don't you?
But, Buddy, in this state, you know, there's been no bill that's been introduced in the legislature, and that's the very first thing that has to happen. And I don't see the motivation, because let's face it, it's got to come from the Republicans. They hold the majority, you know, and I understand the Senate votes differently than the House, but it's got to come from the Republicans. It doesn't even matter who the governor is, but it's got to come from the Republicans. Well, Republicans are more reticent about gambling than Democrats for whatever reason. And it's ironic because, you know, Republicans are more about states' rights than Democrats normally, and yet Democrats have been far more aggressive throughout our country about promoting gambling than Republicans for whatever reason. And in this state in particular, I mean, you know, the casino industry has been protected when it comes to gambling at every turn. And to me, Buddy, if we're going to have it in this state, it's going to be because the casino industry convinces people in Tallahassee we need to do this. And you know where we're going to have the sports books? We're going to have them in the casinos.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's all tied together one way or the other.
Right.
I see also people are finding everybody wants a piece of the pie. Did I read that the NFL wants to regulate some of it and have rights fees and all that stuff?
They want, they're calling it an integrity fee, which is very ironic.
That's really funny.
Critical.
Really funny.
But basically saying, hey, we're going to have added costs because now it's going to cost us so much money to make sure that nothing nefarious is going on. Plus, also, we're providing all of this for free that you're all making money off of. We need our cut. Let's call it what it is. It's a VIG. It's, hey,
that's right. It is a VIG. You're right.
Right.
We
want our something. Having a little something for the effort is really what it should be called.
Right.
But a lot of people believe that it could be a 0.25% that gets handed out to, on every bet. If it's an NFL bet, it goes to the NFL. But what to me is interesting, buddy, is like West Virginia is one of the 5 most aggressive states here in the last year to want legalized sports betting. And they're going to get it here pretty soon. They may even have it in time for college football. One of the proposals that was in their state legislature was that 1% of the money of every bet goes to West Virginia and Marshall universities, the 2 Division I schools in the state. Think about that, because remember, buddy, every state, we may have regulation that is the same from coast to coast, but what the states do with their money is up to them. We could have a different VIG in every state, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or the VIG is what it is, but states do with it what they will. Think about a state could literally, if they wanted to take that money and start siphoning it off to their major universities, they could dramatically alter the shape of those universities, not just academically, but obviously, you and I talk sports. I mean, that could be a lot of money that ends up going to West Virginia and Marshall, which totally changes what they are on the sports landscape.
Now, David, I'm going to get you to educate me on something in a minute. I'm going to educate you on this. The fact remains is, and it's one of my books way back when, it's been written before, that the Florida used to have a huge advantage because they passed a bill in Tallahassee where the University of Florida got money from the dog tracks and the horse tracks. We had a day where the Florida schools, and we got it for sports, by the way, so it gave them a leg up. So pari-mutuel wagering really helped the Florida Gators in the 50s and 60s, and it wouldn't be the first time it happened if the casinos wind up helping West Virginia and Marshall. So this is not something brand new in the concept. Having said that, and I know we'll be talking about this for a long time to come, educate me a little bit on this. Brendan and I are sitting there trying to figure out this whole thing with graduate transfers. I get more confused by the minute. And I'm going to have Urban Meyer on the show on Friday. I may be able to talk to him a little bit about it. And others, Coach Spurrier, I don't think has gotten this as a graduate transfer. He'll be on in about 7 minutes. But in terms of, I read, these people have applied like Joe Burrow being the classic, having poster boy. Yet he's graduated. And yet he has to get clearance to go visit LSU and Cincinnati. And by the way, my source in Columbus told me 2 things. A, he claims Urban may have blocked Joe Burrow from transferring to Florida. I don't know if I believe that or not. I don't think he would lie, but someone may have lied to him. And he also says that the leader in the clubhouse, get ready for this, for Joe Burrow is Cincinnati. Wouldn't that be a shocker?
Well, it would be because they've got a very good quarterback in-house, and in theory, so he'd be sitting behind somebody else for 2018. If that's the case, why not stay at Ohio State? Mm-hmm. You're much closer to starting at Ohio State than you are at Cincinnati this year, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I asked about this too, buddy, because I'm like, wait a minute, I don't understand. If a guy has graduated, can't they just get up and leave? They've graduated. Why do they have to ask for permission, essentially? And I was told it's a little bit more than a courtesy, but technically because they're still on the roster, all right, that is why there's some sort of permission that needs to be granted. I don't understand it. To me, if you're a graduate, you're done. You're done. See it. But I guess technically he's still at Ohio State. He's clearly looking to transfer. He's announced he's going to transfer. But I believe if you go on their website and you look on their roster, he's still on it. And if that's the case, I was told that basically you have to get permission. You know, you and I talked about this last week.
I know.
About Urban and Florida and how you and I are this is one thing you and I have agreed upon. We've always thought the Florida fan has treated Urban poorly post-Florida.
Yes.
And we don't quite understand why they hold the angst that they do towards him. And so not to belabor the point, but you and I believe that, yes, it ended awkwardly and badly, but he came here and did what you wanted him to do, 2 championships, a nice little run. Why not be grateful for the run? And he should be welcomed back at the University of Florida and given a nice ovation, and it should be warm and fuzzy. And apparently there's no thaw, and it's not warm and fuzzy, and now there's angst on both sides because of it. And we wondered, I know I did last week, because of how the Meyer family feels they've been treated by the Gator faithful, would Urban stand in the way of Joe Burrow to Florida?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the illusion that this person made. And by the way, I think the key is that this guy does report on it. This guy does report on Florida, and he did say, use the word block when it came to
Sorry about that, everybody. Looks like the call went bad. So let's try to get it back really quick. Stand by, the entire world. Hold on. Let's put Skype back up and give Budro another call here. Hello, Buddy Martin. Are you there?
Hello, Brendan. I'm here. Sorry.
You're back. You're back.
Okay now?
Yep, you're okay now. Sounds like you're fine. Sorry about that.
All right. Probably my bad somewhere. I don't know. But Coach Spurrier will join us in just a second. You want to go ahead and do our Dan Hightower commercial, and we'll come back with Coach Spurrier, or you want me to call him online, or what do you want me to do here?
Yeah, I'm going to why don't you do that, and we'll play our AAA tree service commercial and our Dan Hightower commercial. Just coming back right after this.
Let's not Coach Steve Spurrier. Pardon our interruption there, okay?
Okay.
And that show, I think that's the name of the show, right? Pardon my interruption.
Yeah, it's another show. Another network.
And also be other phones. So.
Right, stand by.
No one ever plans a car accident. Having a plan after you've been in one, however, can make a world of difference. Daniel L. Hightower has been fighting for accident victim justice in Ocala and statewide since 1976. After meeting with Dan and his team, you'll know your case matters, that you matter, and that Dan will fight hard to get you just results. If you've been severely injured through no fault of your own by a careless or reckless driver, you need Daniel L. Hightower.
Well, with us, it's a family-owned business. Majority of the employees are family. You know, no drugs, no alcohol. We do a lot of big, high contracts. We do a lot of governmental contracts. We do Sikorsky aircraft and E-1 we've done for many years, and we carry big general liability insurance policies. Knock on wood, since 1958 we've never had one claim, so there's not too many companies that can stand by that. Safety is very important to AAA Tree Service, not only for our own employees but for our customers as well. We take pride in going to their places. We treat it like it's our home, and we leave it the way it would be if it would be our home. And we even go above and beyond. We do more than just trees. I mean, we trim hedges, we pressure wash, you name it. We get into doing anything that a customer needs. Call us at 873-3440 or on the website AAATreeService.com, or also on CenturyLink.com as well.
We're back, buddy. AAA Tree Service, and good to hear from Daniel Hightower.
And in your wheelhouse, a guy who won 4 consecutive SEC championships. And, boy, I saw you on TV with Mick Hubert doing the baseball, and then I know you talked to the track folks. What was that like up there, all those SEC titles in 30 hours?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been a pretty good last couple of weeks, few days for all the sports here at the University of Florida. Mouse Holloway in the track team to win the men's and women's SEC. That was something. I talked to him just yesterday, and he was still fired up. And I tell you what, winning championships, sometimes people think, well, you won it last year, you won it the year before. But it's the same feeling every year, the same feeling for the team, the coach, and that's why you train, you practice year-round for that moment that maybe you're the best of everybody in the SEC. So he's done it. Baseball, Kevin O'Sullivan, they've won the SEC again. I think Florida's got 15 in 85 years of SEC baseballs, and Coach O'Sullivan and his group has got a third of them. They got 5 of the 15. So he's on the way to setting all kind of records here. Golf team's doing well. Kim Walton, our softball girls, of course, won the SEC in the tournament. Lacrosse is winning. Amanda O'Leary and her team, and gymnastics, we finished third in the nation by about a half of a point, I think. Did you watch the gymnastics NCAA, buddy?
I did not get to watch that, Steve.
I tell you what, I watched it, and somehow or another UCLA won on the last event, but it was nip and tuck between, I think, us, LSU, and UCLA. But I tell you what, I think gymnastics might be the most pressured sport for an individual performer of all of them. Those girls, those young ladies are out there all by themselves. They mess up, there's nobody to take over. In football and basketball, somebody can mess up, and as long as you win the game, it's no big deal. But in gymnastics, man, you got to be accountable every time you step up to the plate there and so forth. So anyway, it's the overall sports program here is really strong.
Makes it much easier to be an ambassador for a program like that. And Steve, you've always been about the winning ever since your dad told you early on, as you documented in your book. That they keep score for a reason, and winning, you always said, it's fun. It's fun when you win. And you had a stretch there from 93 to 96 where you guys just couldn't do much wrong. And I know the 93 team is going to be honored this year, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Mm-hmm. But what's it like when you're on that run? Can you even imagine? You just sort of it's like putting when everything goes in. All of a sudden, what's it like to win 4 years in a row, win the championship?
Well, first of all, buddy, you got to sort of expect it. And the 93 team, we won it in 1991. Then, of course, we lost the playoff game against Alabama the first year they had the championship game in Birmingham. So the next year we're playing Alabama again in Birmingham, and it was a huge win for us. It really was. It was the start of the four straight SEC championships. Since 1933, I think us and Alabama are the only two schools that have won 4 in a row. So they certainly won a whole bunch more than we have. I think they got 25 or 26. We got 9. So they're still way ahead of everybody. And they were good back then too, but our guys, we didn't put Alabama on the pedestal. To us, they were a good team, but we could beat them if we played our best. And you look back on those, the first 6 SECs we won there, we had to beat Alabama 5 of the 6 years. And if you want to beat best, you got to beat Bama. And it's still that way today. Been that way since 1933, to tell you the truth. So, but anyway, our players, they look forward to it. Their expectations were high. They prepared extremely well, and just mentally, we thought we were just as good as Alabama, and if we played our best, we should beat them. And fortunately, it worked out that way.
Yeah, I know 71-76, Bear Bryant won 5. That's the only.
Yeah, they got 5, but nobody else has got 4.
Right.
And so I just tell people, us and them got the only ones that got 4. But I tell you what, we do have, buddy, that nobody knows. We got 5 straight divisions. I don't think even Alabama's won 5 straight of those divisions.
You know that.
So, fortunately, we won the SEC in 4 of those after winning the division. But actually, Florida, we have more divisions than any team in the SEC. Heck, Coach McElwain got a couple. Urban got 3. We got 7 out of 10 years. So I think we're 1 up on Alabama in division championships. Well,
it's amazing where we were talking this morning, Steve, about the fact that I come from the wait till next year Gator age before you got to Florida, when it was good if you went to a bowl game. You know, and that culture changed, and Florida was playing better when you were there. You fell a game short here, game short there. People forget that you almost beat Alabama 2 straight years in Tuscaloosa, Bear Bryant. The 63 team, when you came in as a sophomore, and you guys just came within a hair of at least tying them. Had the field goal been good, you would have tied them, which was a big win, beating Bear Bryant back in those days. But classically, as you point out, Alabama has been the paradigm. They've been the champion all these years. And when you beat Alabama in your first year after the Oklahoma State route, that sent a signal to you right there, I think, didn't it? Because somebody wrote that Florida played like Alabama and Alabama played like Florida, right?
Yeah, Bill King, local writer here in the Gainesville paper, the next day he said this was the most amazing, unbelievable day in maybe Florida football history, because Florida played like Alabama, and Alabama played the way Florida used to play. In other words, we blocked the punt to actually win the game in the 4th quarter. Alabama had 3 interceptions. Will White had the game of his life. Shane had an excellent game. Eric Red, Ernie Mills, and those guys. But it was a tough one. It was 17-13, and really the block punt and defense won the day for us. And that sort of set the tone. And our guys, we sort of had the upper hand on Alabama. I think one of the nicest things, any opponent, Antonio Langham, who got the pick against us in 92, that the year Alabama did win the national championship. Later they were asking him about Florida, and he said, we beat everybody else. But he said there was something about those Florida guys. He said they act like they were supposed to beat us. The other guys didn't act like they thought they were supposed to beat us. So that was a nice compliment. If our guys mentally just felt like if we played our best, then we are just as good as Alabama, and now let's go prove it. So that was that was certainly a fun time, and every championship's the same. You get the same feeling the first one, the 4th, 5th, 6th. So we were very, really proud of those players that played during that time.
I know you liked the 90 team a lot, and you always told them they will be your champions forever. And for a while, their name was up on the facade as the best record in the SEC. They would have won it, except for the probation, which they didn't have anything to do with. But talk about 93, because that's the team that's going to be honored this year. I went back and looked up the records, and you guys, one of the things about your records that you left there at Florida offensively, I don't think it'll ever be broken. I mean, you're in or as somebody wrote last week or a couple weeks ago, you still got 8 of the top 10 years in offense at Florida. And so that's something that I think probably never will be broken. And right out of the box, you guys started scoring points. In 93, I think you scored over 100 points the first 3 games, starting with that 44-6 easy win. and then beating Kentucky and then Tennessee 41-34. So you put the points on the board in a hurry.
Well, we really did had some good players, and our offense was different than what everybody else was doing. We were throwing and running, but we threw a lot better than almost every team in the country. Actually, we practiced it. Danny Wolf, if you ask him what y'all do in practice, he said we threw the ball and threw the ball and threw the ball, and occasionally we'd hand off. It didn't take a lot of practice to hand off to Eric Rhett or toss him the sweep. So we didn't have to practice that a whole bunch. But throwing and being exact on our pass patterns and timing and getting guys open, that's what we worked on all the time. So if you practice, Aristotle, he said we are what we repeatedly do. So excellence is not an act, but it's a habit. So if you can do it excellently on the practice field, you got a good chance of doing it in the real games. And our guys, we really practiced well, and that's why we played well, to tell you the truth.
HBC quoting Aristotle, man. You're going up a couple of notches on him.
I got all kind of quotes, and of course Vince Lombardi's quote about winning. You know, you don't win once in a while. You try to win all the time. You don't do things right some of the time. Try to do things right all the time. And he says winning is a habit, and unfortunately, so is losing. And all those years we used to say, wait till next year, buddy. That was a habit we were in.
Yeah.
And we had to break some old habits around here, but you can break habits.
Yeah.
You can change your attitude, and attitude is everything, as we know. And then sometimes you got to get some help from above. Danny Warfel, probably one of the finest young Christian men. He and Tim Tebow. And I'm convinced both those young men and their teams have a lot of help from above.
Interesting. Yeah, like they said, if you only had a quarterback who was the son of a preacher now, you'd be in good shape. So you got 3 statues out there with all the son of a preacher in. Steve, if you just give me a couple of minutes here, I want to go through this 93 team a little bit with you because there's some players I want to mention, and I want to ask you about a couple of games that you won those, 5 in a row. And then you ran up against Auburn. That was one of the craziest games. That was it. I was at that game. I was living in Colorado. You lost 38-35, and Terry Dean was on a Heisman run. He looked like he was leading contender at that time. And he threw, 2 picks or 3? I forget which it was. And you brought in behind him Danny Werfel, and the rest was history. But at one time, Terry Dean was just on fire. And you guys couldn't stop the passing until your defense broke down. I remember those crossing routes and those great receivers LSU had, Auburn had. And Country, you lost 38-35. That was a heck of a football game, I thought.
Well, okay, buddy, let me correct you a little bit.
Yeah.
When Terry Dean was on fire, that was in 94.
Oh, am I wrong year?
93.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
In 93.
My bad, my bad.
Danny Warfel and Terry, they both played at Kentucky.
Yes.
I'm sure the Gator fans remember that when they were alive back in the early 90s. But that was the Warford-Hickadoring pass with 7 or 8 seconds left, and we beat Kentucky 24-20. And I think maybe that was the first conference game of the year. If we don't win that one, we don't win the conference.
Right.
And then we were down 17-0 at South Carolina. Came back and won that one about 46-23 or something like that, with Jack Jackson making some big plays. But Danny played pretty much all the way through the 93 season. I think Terry Dean might have played a little bit against Georgia on a rainy day that day up there. But Danny got hurt against FSU last game of the season. Actually had to have his knee scoped.
Right.
So Terry Dean, he got the championship game, and all he did was the MVP of the game. Through 2 or 3 touchdowns. Willie Jackson had a big game. Jack Jackson caught 2 big passes, one for about a 55-yard touchdown. But maybe the play of the game in the 93 championship game, buddy, was when Shane Edge faked the punt on his own.
Yeah.
It was 14-13, and at midfield, next thing I know, he starts to punt. He jukes a guy. Looks like the guy was about to block it. And he ran for about 15 yards, and the next play, Terry Dean hit Jack on a deep post route for a touchdown that put us up 21-23, and we scored another one in the fourth quarter to put it away. But Shane Edge, he took off on his own.
Fake, huh?
And what was sort of interesting about that, buddy, the year before he did the same thing. The year before against Alabama in the 92 championship game, he faked it but did not make it. People say, what'd you say to him? I said, not really. It was about midfield. Heck, he thought he could make a play. So the next year he did the same thing, and this time he made it. So I just always believe the coach is supposed to let his guys play the game. And Doug Johnson making that audible against FSU, the Quasi on the curl and go, and Shane taking the punt. Hey, man, if you think you can make a play to help the team win the game, go do it. And don't worry about the risk you're taking.
Right.
So it was neat to watch those guys do that.
Yeah, and I'm confusing my years. You're right. That was a game at Auburn that you lost as the one to post the next year, which was a heck of a game, by the way. You ended up losing that one. All right, let's talk about a couple of guys on the roster real fast. You mentioned a couple. I mean, people forget how good Eric Rhett was. I mean, so many times you used him in the second half after you took a lead. He gained 1,289 yards, Steve, with a 5.2 yard average that year in 93. And yet we hardly talk about it outside of the team. He was an amazing running back.
Well, you should talk about him because even all these teams that set all kind of passing records, Eric Rhett is the leading rusher in Florida football history. I don't know how many people know that. And now Emmett only played 3 years and went pro, and Eric was a 4-year starter. Obviously, that helps. But our style of play was let's get the lead, and then let's run the clock out in the fourth quarter. A lot of people thought we were firing away in the fourth quarter, but we weren't. We were consuming the clock, trying to run it out, not do anything stupid, and win the game. And Eric Rhett was our run the clock out guy. And, of course, we ran a lot early in the game also, but especially late in the game, he could churn out the yards. And he was one of those players that provided spirit. And spirit is contagious. Enthusiasm is contagious. And the whole team would just sort of feed off Eric Rhett. This well-liked, wonderful teammate. All the great teams in the world, it seems like the star players are some of your best teammates.
Didn't he have 3 straight years of 1,000 yards or something? I know he had. He's amazing.
I think he had about 1,000 all those years.
All 4?
He didn't. Yeah, he was never hurt, so that I can remember.
Yeah.
So he got a lot of carries, and he was. He provided that spirit that just spread through the entire team, and a lot of defensive players also brought some spirit with him. Lawrence Wright. Lawrence can make some plays back there, make some good hits, and keep everybody upbeat, things like that. And, of course, we had Kevin Carter, Ellis Johnson, the D-line, Culpepper, and all those guys. When you have good spirit and good players, you got a chance to win championships.
Yeah, and also he caught a touchdown pass in the spring game too, right? I noticed he used the off the bench play. Did you give that play to Coach Mullen for the spring game, orange and blue game?
I think he decided to do that. So we usually did it once a game. I think we had about 5 of them the other day. Lawrence caught one, and he had to make a diving catch too. That ball gets up in the air, it can do tricks on you if you don't watch it. And then Travis McGriff was there. I tell you what, Travis and Dory, they look like they can still play. Those guys work out at least 4 or 5 days a week or more, and they're playing in this touch league right now. And Danny Waffle's out there throwing the ball to them. These guys are all in their 40s. And, they're firing it around pretty good from what I understand.
You mentioned Chris Doring, a guy that was a walk-on, a great success story. I forgot that he played so much in 93 as a sophomore. He caught 43 balls that year. So you must have seen something in him early on, and he had to work his way off the scout team.
I think Julio Jones and Chris are the leading touchdown passers
they are tied.
in SEC history right now with 33 each,
right.
I think.
Right.
So here's a walk-on from Gainesville. All he did was catch more passes than anybody in history of the SEC touchdown passes that is.
Exactly.
And, he was, I tell you, one of the best things about Chris Doring, though, buddy, and hopefully all the listeners out there, after his 5th year here, one of the guys asked him about going pro. He said, "Man, I bet you're ready to go play some NFL ball, be drafted high, and da-da-da." He said, "You know what? If it was up to me, I'd play here in Florida as long as I could." He said, "It's more fun playing from University of Florida than I'll ever have in pro football." But my eligibility's up, so I have to go to pro football. Now, when's the last time a person said, I'd love to play at the University of Florida as long as I could play, but now I have to go to the NFL. So that's kind of players we had back in the 90s that loved their school, loved their teammates, coaches, and laid it all on the line for their school and their team.
Love to play ball, and I have Chris on later this week. I'll tell him about that. And great success story. Now doing well at the SEC Network. Hey, Steve, it's been fun visiting. All the best to Jerry and your family. And we want to hear more about the team in Orlando when you know more about it. I know it's a little premature right now, but next time we get you on, maybe we can talk about that some.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, they're still, getting the cities and the coaches lined up. They've announced 2 or 3, I think, but hopefully in the next couple of months, all 8 cities and coaches will be named. And we don't really start practice maybe till December or even January of 2019. And then we play February, March, April. So, people ask me what kind of a job will get you back into coaching. I said, one of those 4 months a year jobs, and that's what I got. So, it's nothing but football, get you a good team, hopefully with wonderful attitude, and go see if we can win, the league championship. So, looking forward to it. And, we'll have a good team down there. I got a feeling.
I'm hearing a lot of people want jobs with you, so we'll see how that works out. So.
I tell you, a lot of my former coaches are sort of available now. They've sort of had their run the last 20 years or so, and they're available. They're ready to do a little coaching. And when you think about a 4 to 5 month job, that's enticing. What these college coaches have to go through now. It's a year-round deal in the colleges. But this is just, pure coaching and get you hopefully a good team that loves to compete and with a wonderful attitude and go see what we can do. So we'll see how it all plays out in 2019.
It's going to be fun, Steve. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you.
Thank you very much. Well, Brendan, it's always good to talk to HPC. He's always got something to talk about, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always got something to talk about. He's always interesting. He's always on the go, too. You ever noticed that about him? He's always running.
It's a fun guy to be around. That's the thing.
No, yeah, for sure. Those kind of people are interesting. That's for sure.
I've always enjoyed my relationship with Steve. So, you want to check in the Kingdom. Let's first tell folks about the World of Beer, Brendan. Tomorrow night we'll be there with Brady Ackerman. Always fun time. Yeah, World of Beer. And
you guys have a little too much fun up there, I think.
We do. We have a lot of fun up there. We enjoy it. And I enjoy usually having a bite to eat afterwards because they have really good food and reasonable.
I'm sure you do. You like that pretzel.
No, I know. I can't have the pretzel. I would like it. Your daughter likes that pretzel. I know that.
That's for sure. And, I don't know. Last time I went there was no pretzel left for me.
What?
So. You guys eat all the pretzel every time.
I think I might have been Nat Blaylock, the mayor. I believe he might have been the one.
Whatever.
So we want to tell folks, if you don't know by now, it's our home away from home in terms of our Gainesville headquarters. Lots of things happening for the fall. Kerry and Chad and the gang planning. I know Bubba's all fired up about it. Going to do some tailgates, Brendan, apparently for road games there, right there in the Tioga Town Center, and we'll tell you how that works. Brady won't be there because Brady will be calling the games on the road, but we'll be there. I'm not sure if we'll continue to do Wednesdays or if we'll change the night, but we love going there. I'd like for you to come and join us. Our friend from Ningbo, China, Roger Burns, will be here soon. He's going to World of Beer.
Big winner, by the way.
Yes, he won his goodies, and he's going to get some goodie packages, which I posted online. What do you mean, Jennifer? What kind of comment is that? Brady brings out the best Buddy Zingers. Oh, you mean I give them? I don't
think Jennifer's ever trading you up, so I wouldn't worry about that. She's pretty loyal to the Kingdom.
I know. So I see what she means. She means, I do give him some good zingers.
Yeah.
I want to make sure she didn't say he gave me zingers, because his zingers aren't that good. Let's be honest about it. I mean, anybody who has to print a shirt to get his name on the sign. I mean, come on, man.
Well, you guys have a big struggle with that, and then he went and printed his own shirts, and now you guys are upset. How do you feel about that? I mean, truly, how do you feel? Are you upset about it? You hurt a little bit that he just went out?
No, I'm okay with it.
All right.
Actually, he paid for the shirts, and he gave us some shirts to give away, and I'm all right with it. But by the way, just so he knows, he may call it the Brady and Buddy Show, but the name of the show is the Buddy Martin Show. Okay? Well, I'm a sharing kind of guy.
You guys can
I'll share that. And we go to up there to World of Beer. Just come on by and see us and have a beer, whatever. It's good food.
I'm wearing
good
your
time,
shirt, by
good
the way.
people.
Do you see this? I'm loyal.
Cool.
To the
Please
kingdom,
do.
So
I
don't
just got
forget
the
me.
roll
So
shirt on today. Don't have my. They're all laundry has to be done.
All
But
right, well-
hey, listen. This World of Beer voted Gainesville's best bar and pub for 2 straight years. There's a reason because they have all these international beers, domestic beers, and of course they also have really good food at a very reasonable price. Check it out if you don't believe me. Come by and see us. Tomorrow at 6, the show will be there. Come by anytime and visit the folks out there. Lots of big plans for the fall. The World of Beer. Go west on Newberry, past I-75 to West End Golf Course. Make a left on Tago Town Center. Behind it is the World of Beer. Voted Gainesville's best bar and pub 2 straight years. The World of Beer is not just about the beer, but
it should be.
There you go.
I changed it a little bit.
You did change it. You like to kind of change things up, Owen.
Yeah,
Let's check in with the kingdom and see what they got going on.
Well, I'm talking to Jennifer saying to you, yeah, buddy, you give the best singers. That's right, buddy. Got to keep Brady in his place.
Yeah. All right, that's more like it. That's
Brett English says, I'm with Franz on the GNK luncheons. He wants to do the luncheons. So
yeah,
whatever.
that's something we talked about last night. You want to explain again?
Well, no, that you and Franz want to have some weird luncheons. I don't do
luncheons. No, it's not a weird luncheon. Franz brought it up. He said we could all get together.
Sounds like an old guy thing to me. That's what it sounds like. I mean, I'm more of a bar,
there's no excuse for ageism
restaurant.
on this show,
okay. Why don't you and Franz get together? You guys can have turkey sandwiches.
We already have talked to Tracy DeCubelis and Chris DeCubelis, and we even got the mayor of Newberry, Matt Blaylock, who says if he'll get the smoker, I'll smoke it, smoke the meat, and
you guys are going to be smoking. What's going on now? Wait,
why do you say things like that?
This whole thing's changing around. You're going to be smoking.
You try to confuse people on purpose.
Listen, I'm just going to hang out with Soderquist and Colville, and we'll do shots of Fireball.
Oh boy. They talk about wild people. That's it, Colville. You and Colville, that's trouble. By the way,
what do you mean? Just because you're jealous? Are you jealous because you don't have any Fireball?
Hey, how'd you like the HBC? Joey McBrayer loves having the HBC on the show. We do too. Brent English remembers his famous quote, God smiled on the Gators.
I do remember that.
And Byron Holden checking in. Great weekend for the Gators. Yes, it was. We talked about that a lot last night. Jennifer Lay, good old days. I can still see HBC pacing those sidelines with this visor. Yeah, those are memorable times. Richie Robinson says, how many times did Coach throw the visor? If I had to make a number on it, see, Coach 12 years, so that's, I don't know, like 140 games, whatever that is. So probably at least 1 out of every 5. So what is that, like 2.5 a season? So let's say 30 times.
No, more than that.
No, he didn't.
Did you ever? Did he throw it? And did he throw it?
No, he didn't always throw it. He sometimes just
he
took
threw
it off.
headsets.
No, he actually took the headset off one time and didn't mean to throw it. He never threw a headset ever.
No,
never.
I see a picture of him throwing one right now.
Yeah, you know, you're the kind of guy. You're a fake news guy. You try to create misinformation.
I'm a fake news guy. Okay, what does that look like to you?
Yeah, so. Yeah, Richie Robinson says it's Buddy and Brady. Attaboy, Richie. I can count on you, buddy. I don't have to worry about you. By the way, Jennifer loves the idea of the luncheon. Okay, just so you know, you calling her old also?
No, I'm not calling anybody old. I know Jennifer's not old.
So it's like
Don't
a bunch
be
of
mad.
old
Don't be mad at me about it.
Yeah. Chad Estep.
I want to throw my visor. I'll throw my hat.
Are you going to sell your hats?
I might sell my hat.
Man, you got to give me my money back then.
No, that's a gift. That would be an Indian giver.
You don't even know how much they cost. I paid for them.
Doesn't matter how much they cost. They're mine now. They don't fit your head. You gave them to me. Therefore, they're my property. I can do with which I like. Well, they can buy them for the right price.
Throw one of those hats?
I'll tell you what. If they're in the Gator Nation Elite, I might give one away if everyone's like, because I haven't worn them all.
You can't give away something I gave you.
I can do whatever I want.
Man.
I have this one.
Yeah, the orange number. Yeah, well, just take a vote. Wait, let's see who's left online here. I think about 15 people. Which one of these hats do you like? The orange number? I like that a lot with the F on it.
Yeah, I haven't worn this one much.
Yeah, and the one you're wearing with the alligator head on it.
This one's dirty, though. It needs to be cleaned.
The white hat is cool. How'd you get it dirty?
Because I wear it like every day.
Like the white blue one. Best.
Well, that one's probably not going to go anywhere.
Huh?
That one's probably not going to go anywhere.
Brent English says Native American giver.
Is that the PC version of Indian giver?
That's pretty good.
That's funny.
Brent English says also that orange one is sharp. Crystal Addison is going with the white. She likes the white. I'm with you, Crystal. I like the white the best. Let me see if I can find mine.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I stuck them all. See, here's the thing that the kingdom needs to know a little bit about you. Is that you have a really big head. It won't fit you.
This is the hat.
Try it on. Try it on right now. Try it on right now. Try it on. Try it on. Let me see how it fits. Show the kingdom how big your head is. Go.
It has the numbers for next drawing in it.
Oh, that's the try these. You put it on the biggest size known.
This is probably my fave right here.
You put it on dinosaur head. And
I like the Block F. Just the Block F. That's the one I like the best.
Now turn it around and show everyone how big you have it setting to the setting. The head setting. What's it? You have an oversized. Your head is over
another
8.
inch and a half there, for crying out loud. Plenty of them. Look.
Oh, please.
Hang on.
Yeah, let's watch this. I had some music.
It's a different style hat. You got to remember. This is a bucket hat there. Baseball. Being an old baseball player, I like to represent. You know.
Uh-huh.
And this is my favorite one, but it doesn't look as good as yours looks.
This would not fit your head. You bought this hat, and it's too small for your head. These are
different style hats. You got to understand. They lay down. See, it's not like yours with your egg-shaped head.
Your head is an 8+ in circumference. 8+. What's that say?
So what do you think it says?
It says Roger Burns.
He won the pot last time.
Oh, we have to give him more publicity. I mean, Roger's head's going to be huge by the end of this. He got like 45 things.
He deserves it.
Well, he is going to be here soon.
Florida football. I bought this for Terry Bradshaw. By the way, where's my stuff for Bradshaw that Nat Blaylock was going to get us to ship to him?
That's between you and Nat.
Well, no, we all agree we're going to ship Bradshaw some Gator gear. He's waiting for it.
Fair enough. Hey, everyone, let us know. Do you like? I mean, we may not. If we don't, we can continue to go to Twitter and stuff. I don't think people may not like it as much as we think we do. We're paying extra to do it, so if people don't like us, let us know if it's not a thing. We'll keep trying it out.
This morning to see, because you didn't check last night.
I did. I checked. There's not a lot of people were into us,
but they watch it a lot after the fact.
Well, okay, but I'm just saying.
You taught me that.
Of course. But, I mean, it limits some control when we do it, so we can't do some things. So, anyway, I was just seeing if people like it. We're also on YouTube, The Buddy Martin Show. If you do YouTube Live. Some people don't like the app, the streaming app. So this is, and we're on iTunes. I already podcasted the Late Night Dilly Dilly last night.
Are we ever going to get
Buddy Martin Show, iTunes?
No, are we ever going to get our website, Buddy Martin Media, back?
Yeah, I heard. You tell me.
Well, I think that would give people an option if they don't want to go to Facebook, at least, right?
That's the idea. They don't have to go to Facebook anymore. They can go to Twitter, or
but they don't have Twitter. What do they do?
YouTube.
Or if they don't do social media.
Then you can probably go to they probably have a smartphone, and they can go to iTunes, and they can search The Buddy Martin Show and download that.
What if they only have Pony Express or something?
Then they could probably still figure out a way to do it, because you could steal somebody's phone and use the TuneIn app, maybe, because we're on TuneIn.
Use the word steal here on this show.
Borrow it.
That's better.
You could borrow someone's phone.
Yes.
And listen to it that way. I mean, we're not on terrestrial radio, but we're about everywhere else. Stitcher, TuneIn. So we're podcasted. SoundCloud. Now we're on Twitter, Facebook Live. What is it? Streaming YouTube Live, and then
you don't even know. You got so many. You don't even know how many.
No, I do, because I can see them. They're running right now in front of me.
What about How about Instagram? We're not on there.
You can't do long formatted shows on Instagram.
Can't?
No, they have like a time limit, so you can't do it.
Well, only a couple of people watch this on Twitter today, so Twitter's been slow.
Well, we're trying it out. It splits our audience up a little bit.
Well, commenting is off. There's one of the problems right there.
What?
Why is commenting off?
Your comments were off. Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you turned the comments off.
How did I do that?
I don't know. It's your Twitter account.
Check connected Periscope in your settings. Well, I didn't have to do that before. That's one of the problems we're having.
Why?
But you're the one who's controlling it back there.
Negative, Ghost Rider. I am not controlling it.
Well, the broadcast you are.
I'm not controlling your Twitter. I'm just.
We need a techie.
I am a techie.
Don't have a czar of tech.
Yeah,
we have a czar of tech, don't we?
Yeah, we have Chad.
Rich. Well, where is he when we need him?
Well, he's probably working.
Yeah, but he's supposed to have this in one of his ears at all time, isn't he?
I don't know.
Huh?
I'm not sure. I don't think anyone even watches this anymore.
Anybody watches?
No.
I'm not watching right now myself, so I don't know.
Anyway, we're over our time by 5 minutes. So.
That's okay. It's the internet.
Yeah, well, fair enough. What's coming up next? World of Beer tomorrow night. Check
Urban
it out.
tomorrow night. We got lots of guests. Urban tomorrow on Friday.
We'll podcast this show.
Coming up.
If
you'll
you
be podcasting tonight, you can find us on Twitter.
If you missed, yeah, you can check. You can, if you're a YouTube person, go to YouTube, The Buddy Martin Show. There's on YouTube. If you're a Facebook person, obviously The Buddy Martin Show on Facebook. Join the Gator Nation Kingdom at the Gator Nation Kingdom. If you're looking, or the Gator Nation Kingdom on Facebook, look for that. Ask to join. Fill out a couple of Gator-related questions, and then we will see if you pass the mustard. You can join our group, which is an awesome place to get a lot of great information and stuff. We will have a functioning website soon at thebuddymartinmedia.com. We'll do a redirect page from GatorNationKingdom.com.
That's exciting about it.
So we'll have more writing there. You guys doing Franz are going to do the writing thing. We'll have our pod center there, so you can see more of the podcasting and see all these different networks or outlets that we're streaming to, i.e. Periscope, Twitter, which same thing. So if you do either or YouTube, and of course Facebook Live. So all these things are happening. All these shows are going to be available. Plus you have iTunes. Plus you have SoundCloud. The only thing I can think of is maybe Spotify.
I have that music. That's where my birthday music was put on Spotify. So yeah, all right.
Probably
we're going to be in all
get
forms.
us better on Spotify. Well,
it'd be fair to say that we're going to have some really kind of revolutionary things coming between now and September. Is that exaggeration? Or
yes, it's an exaggeration, because I think what we're doing already is pretty. I mean, I think when we went to the airport was pretty damned.
That's old stuff. That's history. It doesn't matter.
Well, now we have to fly a drone over the plane and get them in the plane with the drone. That'd be great.
Interesting.
Probably not going to work. So.
Probably time to say goodnight, except it's daytime.
All right. Good night. I think we're tired. We do these back-to-back shows like this. It's exhausting.
We're good till tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. We're off. Woohoo! Let's go do something.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.